Happy New Year. I'm Michelle Flagg from Red Acre Solutions, and I'm here to present a new project that I have, the Certification Planner. And the way we came about with the Certification Planner is a way to go over all of the documents that are needed for obtaining a minority or woman owned business certification. I'm based in Chicago, so this would be for the city of Chicago, but a lot of the items that are covered, the checklists that are needed, they're all documents that you'll need for most, if not all, certifications, whether it's on a municipal level, state level, or the local federal the federal government. So let's say, for example, women-owned small business, the WOSB certification, um, 8A. Those are more detailed, but this will definitely get you started with some of the basic documents that are needed. Each Monday, I give a certification presentation at the Charles Hayes Center here in Chicago, and that's located on 48th and Wabash, and that's at noon on Mondays. And that is a program that's for the Section 3 program through CHA is offering assistance to Section 3 businesses. Uh, you don't have to be registered as a Section 3 business to attend the presentation, but in order to obtain the certification assistance service, you do need to be registered as a Section 3 business. So, and again, if you're interested in a planner, electronic versions of the planner are free. If you could subscribe to the YouTube channel, if you could subscribe to the YouTube channel and send me a message, DM, and then that way I can get a copy, send me your email address, and then I can email you a copy of the electronic version of the planner. So I'll just go through it quickly. I have a Facebook video that I made that I wasn't able to save, and that's longer. That's about 30 minutes, but this one will be a quick video just to kind of go over the outlines um, of the planner and just to give you an idea of what it's going to cover. So the first section would be your organizational documents. So if you organize as a corporation, LLC, and all of that information. And the planner has, throughout the planner, I have paper clips. So I don't know if you can see it. So you'll see like a little paper clip there. And so that will be to indicate that's a document that you need to upload uh, to because the application is actually online. So all of the documents that you're gathering, you're going to upload and then upload them to the system once you create a login and user ID. So again, your EIN number, your all of that information is covered in the planner. And by going through the exercises that are in the planner, it makes it much easier for your online application because you have it all ready and you're not starting and stopping and then trying to find the documents as they're asking for them. So EIN number, again, general information about your business. Now for certification, you must be 51% or more owned by, for the minority certification, you must be a minority. For women, for the WBE, it must be 51% or more owned by a woman. And it can be any combination. So it could be two women, and that totals 51%, or you could own it all. So for example, my company, Red Acre Solutions, I own it 100%. And so I have both the MBE and the WBE certification. So that's for what a qualifying owner is. And you must serve a commercially useful function. And that just means that you have to provide some type of good or service. It's something that in your certification is limited to those services that you provide. So if you're, for example, I'm an attorney, so the services that I provide are within the real estate law field. And I'm also a notary, so it includes that. And uh, professional development, other areas, and you provide information about yourself, about your company, services that you've provided that are consistent with those NAICS codes. And that, again, goes towards your ability to provide a commercially useful function. And then I go over how there's exercises on how do you find the NAICS codes for your business. Individual's ownership statement, that's another document that's needed, and that form is included with the application or with the planner. And again, it's going towards the ownership of your company. If there's more than one owner, then each owner each qualifying owner completes that separate individual ownership statement. It's going to ask for organization chart, and that's where you outline who's doing what within your company. If it's just you, then you're providing all of those services. Then you can simply just sketch out an organization chart that includes your name and all of the roles that you play. So if you're president and treasurer, or if you're president, project manager, uh, fulfilling all of those duties, then those are the things that you would include in the organization chart. Then I have a section for businesses that have been in business for more than 3 years. There's a series of questions as it relates to, have there been any ownership changes? Have there been any, was the company purchased? And, what have previous versions of the company, what have they looked like? So they're looking for if there have been any transfers of ownership rights from one party to another. And because throughout the application, they're asking questions as it relates to the ownership and control of the company. And because of past abuses of the MBE-WBE program, they're looking for just to make sure that there wasn't a transfer right before, just so that it could qualify for certification as a minority or a woman-owned business when it may not necessarily truly be one. And then it will ask for certification history. So have you applied for certification in the past, and what was the result? So did you receive certification? Were you denied certification? And if you were denied, it doesn't mean that you'll be denied this time, but they'll also want to see if there was a reason for the denial. Have those things been changed, updated? What's the explanation? And then also, if you've obtained certification, that helps as well, because they see that another certifying agency has approved you for either MBE or WBE status. So they're looking for, again, ownership information as it relates to you, who you have in management, who you have that may control the company. And because just because someone isn't listed as an owner doesn't mean that they're not exercising some type of control. And they're, again, just looking back to make sure that you are the true owner of the company and that you're capable of actually running the company. You're capable of providing the goods and services that you're outlining in your application. So again, it's asking for information that's consistent with that. Who's doing estimating, who's providing marketing and sales operations, who has authority to bind the company. These are all questions that relate to the ownership and control of the company. Facility information. So they're looking for any leases. If you use a co-working space, or if you're a home-based business, you use a shared kitchen or some type of shared facility. You don't have to own the property outright. You don't have to have necessarily a lease, but maybe you have some type of an agreement that goes over how the space is used and your ability to have access to it. There's another section, financial information. There you're going to provide your bank's information for your business, your business banking account, your taxes not only for yourself, but taxes for the business. And if there are any affiliate businesses, so businesses that are closely related to the business that is applying for certification. And as I mentioned, tax returns. So they generally ask for the last 3 years of tax returns, not only for yourself, but for the business as well. And in addition to that, you'll need to complete a Irs Form 4506 -T, and you'll fill that out for not only yourself, but for your business. So for the same form, but when you fill it out for yourself, it's your name and your individual social security number. When you fill it out for your business, it's going to be the company's name and then the EIN number for that business. I've seen it where owners have mixed the two, and that's not what they're looking for. They're looking for not only you as an individual, but separately from you, your corporation's EIN number and the name of your corporation. Still within the financial information section, they're looking for any loans that the business has made and any loans that have been made to the business. So they're looking at both parts of that. And your signature cards, because your signature card should be consistent with your organizational chart. So whoever has signing authority, whoever has authority to bind the company should also have authority, should also have authority as it relates to the signatures on the account. For construction companies, any bonding limits that you have, agreements that you have with for bonding, you'll include that. And insurance. So a certificate of insurance. You can have just bare bones insurance in the beginning, but keep in mind when responding to requests for proposals and those types of projects, you will need to provide that information. And you also indicate it also indicates your ability to get that type of insurance, as well as Now, if there's insurance that's being requested for a RFP and you don't have it at those same levels, you can always include a statement stating that if awarded the contract, you'll increase the limits that are being requested, or um, you may indicate that if you're awarded the contract, you'll increase those amounts, and you'll name the agency, the owner of the project, as an additional insured. But you should start that process of gathering the costs for that, because you don't want to bid on something and not take that higher cost of insurance into consideration. There's a section that covers licenses and registrations. So that's a section for any license that you need as a professional to provide services. You'll need to provide that license, as well as any information or any license or registration that you need in order to operate the business. So for a food truck, for example, a food truck will have a couple of licenses, some that are for the food truck itself, so the vehicle license that's needed, but then you also need to provide any sanitary or food preparation types of licenses. Equipment information. There, you're going to include any type of equipment you want to include equipment that's customarily used in whatever industry that you're in. And if you don't own it, then you can at least rent it or you have access to it. But some way you have access to equipment, and they'll want to know the agreements associated with it. Because again, that can be another way of majority-owned companies, non-qualifying companies or owners to maybe lend equipment to a smaller business, but they want to see those types of relationships and what are the details of the relationship to make sure that they're not exercising too much control over the MBE or WBE. Another section is inventory. So inventory covers, this only applies to items that you intend to sell. So if inventory isn't a big part of what you do, then this section will not apply. And within the section of inventory, I do cover in the planner any issues as it relates to being a supplier, distributor, and meeting the commercially useful function test. Service agreements, any types of retainer agreements with attorneys, accountants, any of those professionals, you'll want to include a copy of those agreements. And again, once you get to this point, then you're pretty much done. So the next steps are you upload all of your documents. After you've uploaded all of your documents, the city, and again, this just applies to the city of Chicago, but they'll invoice you the application fee, and so then you'll pay that, and then you'll be assigned to a reviewer, and then they'll start to review all of the documents that you've uploaded. The process may take about 90 to 120 days. And during that time period, you may get requests for information. And when you do that, you want to respond as quickly as possible and answer the questions that are being asked. You may uh, you may feel as though that you've answered the questions someplace else in your application, but don't rely on the reviewer going back to that other section. Just resubmit the information and then follow up to make sure that they received the uh, the documents or information that was requested. So after that time period of it being reviewed, then you may, if everything's fine, then you get a site visit. And so the site visit is like, it's the light at the end of the tunnel. And with the site visit, they're verifying the information that was put in the application. Uh, if there was um, um, a any problems, or if they're really just trying to verify that you're the individual that submit the application and you're capable of providing all of the services that you've requested, and you've identified as those that are within the company's capabilities, that you are able to provide those services. And in the planner, I kind of joke, or I have a section as far as a black hole, and that's where your application is. And it may feel like that because, again, it does take about 90 to 120 days for approval, but it doesn't go into a black hole. And what happens next is, after the site visit, then a certification committee is brought together to review the applications, and that's where they say yay or nay, or they may need additional information, and then that's when the certification specialist will reach out to you for that additional information. And then last but not least, I have a checklist at the end of the planner, and that checklist is designed to help you navigate through the overall process, but it also has it's organized so that you'll know uh, what you're missing before you submit your application. So you go through the checklist, make sure you have everything that's there, and then once you do that, then you can kind of wait. You can wait for a bit, and just respond to any requests for information as quickly as possible. So again, that's it for the certification planner. Happy New Year. I'm excited about 2020 and getting more people certified as minority and women-owned businesses. And I'm at about 67 subscribers now, and I'd like to get to 100 so that I can personalize my YouTube channel. So again, if you could help out by clicking subscribe, I greatly appreciate it. And then I can provide you with an electronic version of the planner, and then you can use that to, again, get your business ready for 2020 as a certified minority or woman-owned business. Okay, have a good night. Bye.